Today you're going to be making a hot air balloon landscape, okay? When you get your paper, you're going to have your two hot air balloon shapes on your paper. If you notice, one is bigger and one is smaller. And the reason for that is things that are closer to us in the landscape or picture are going to be bigger, and things that are farther away are going to be smaller. So that's why you have a bigger hot air balloon and a smaller. It's meant to look like one is a little bit closer to us and one is a little bit smaller and farther away from us. Also, the smaller one is a little higher on your, this is called your plane, on your plane or your paper, because things that are higher also tend to look like they're farther away, okay? So like, that's why this one is down lower and bigger, and this one is up higher and smaller, okay? Now what we're gonna do first is we're gonna add a couple little details to our hot air balloons, and then we'll start drawing our background and some other stuff, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is draw a basket for this hot air balloon. I'm gonna take my pencil, and you're gonna take your pencil, and I'm gonna draw a rectangle right here for the top of the basket, and then I'm gonna draw a bigger box or rectangle down below for the bottom of the basket. And I'm going to connect it on the edges for the string or the rope that connects them. And then I'm going to do some lines for texture in my basket. Okay? Same thing up here, except this basket will be a little bit smaller. I'm going to draw the rectangle. Notice how my rectangles are just a little bit wider than the bottom of the hot air balloon. And I'm going to draw the bottom part of the basket. I'm going to add the texture on the inside and the ropes on the outside. Okay. Now you're going to come back in a minute and you can decorate your hot air balloons however you want to. I'll let you do that in just a second. Okay. What we want to do next is we want to do our ground details. So what we're going to do down here are some hills. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one hill like this that comes across, and then one hill like this, and it can be bigger than the one that I'm doing. And then I'm going to do a hill in the middle. Now this hill in the middle could become a sun if you would like to do a sunset. This could be like a yellow sun, and then you could paint back here. When we paint, you could paint that oranges and reds, and you would have a really pretty sunset. Okay, I'm going to make it a hill. All right, now on this lower area we want to add some details. So on this side I'm going to put a house. You don't have to put a house. You could put trees, you could put a little city, you could put other things. Okay, so I'm going to do a house right here, and I'm going to keep it really simple. This is supposed to be kind of a funky, not necessarily realistic picture with just some patterns and some fun details. Okay, so there's my house. And I'm going to draw a little path coming away from my house, and it's going to get bigger as it gets closer. Maybe put a couple of bushes on the side of my house. Okay, and then over here I'm going to do some trees. Now you could do like a realistic tree with like a bush kind of shape, and then the two lines down, I'm just going to do some ovals and some triangles for like an evergreen tree. And maybe even some bushes over here. All right. And then here you can do what you want. I actually think instead of a hill and instead of a sun, I might make this a rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. And then this will be a tiny hill right here. Okay? But you can do what you want. That could be a hill, that could be a sun. You can do what you want with that. So I'm done with my ground details. Now we want to add some sky details. Things that might be low in the sky, might be like little butterflies or bugs. And even though we did try to get our hot air balloon sizes correct, right? If I drew a butterfly that was like this big, like really big, that wouldn't be right. But you could draw some little butterflies or something in here. I think I'm gonna do some clouds, some low clouds in a couple of places. Because like the rainbow normally would be higher in the sky, so it's okay if it's not perfectly realistic. You could do birds. I'm gonna do some birds that look like they're flying with that letter M. And then I'm gonna do a sun. Now I don't want you guys to do a corner sun, so I think I'm gonna do a sun. It can still be kind of coming out of the picture or over on the side. It would have been really nice to put it right here. And I guess I still could, but I have my birds there. So I think I'm gonna put it right here, like it's coming out of this. And then I'm gonna do some rays that just kind of go around that hot air balloon. Okay, so there's my landscape. Now, you're gonna come back in and you're gonna take your pencil and draw some details in here. You could divide your hot air balloon into sections and draw patterns or things in each section. Like I could put like hearts in here, I could put stripes in here, and then I could put like bumpy lines in here, okay? Or you could do the same design over the whole entire hot air balloon. Okay, now your next step, once you have all of your details done, is to trace it in Sharpie. So I'm not gonna video that. You guys are gonna trace yours in Sharpie while I trace mine in Sharpie, and then we're gonna come back and color. Okay, you guys, so one thing I like to do is I like to add extra lines to my artworks. So I always kind of come back there and do these little like lines like this. Sometimes they're a little bit scribbly. You can see here I did kind of a scribbly line. And I also like to add patterns. So I added like some patterns to the trees, and I added some extra lines to the sky to make it look like the wind was blowing, right? Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to color these with our, you can either use your twistable colored pencils or your twistable crayons, it just depends. But we're not gonna color the whole picture, okay? You wanna color little areas that you want control over. So like we're gonna color our hot air balloons. I'm probably gonna color my sun, okay? Because what's gonna happen is when we color with our crayons or our colored pencils, the areas that we color when we go to paint with watercolors are gonna stay the color that we color them. If I were to paint this yellow and paint these rays yellow and then try to come in and do blue around it, not only would it be difficult, but any blue that got into my yellow would then make my sun green, because blue and yellow make green. Whereas if I color it yellow, then when I paint around it with the blue, the yellow should stay yellow, okay, or close to yellow. So we're gonna color our small details. Like I'm gonna color my rainbow, my bushes, my trees, my house, my sun, my hot air balloons, and I'm even gonna come in with some blue and do some detailing here, okay? So let me just show you what I mean though, like by this. So I'm not gonna color the sky blue, but I am gonna take some blue, or you could even use white, and I'm gonna just add some of this to it, okay? And that way when we paint, that will still show and give that black line some more interest and texture, all right? So now I'm gonna go finish coloring the rest of mine, and you can go color yours. Okay, and then the final step is going to be to paint. Now, as you can see, I have a lot to paint. I have to paint the green down here for my hill, and then I'm going to paint the blue of the sky. You can make your sky rainbow for all I care. Even if you have a rainbow, you could do like different colors. You could do patches of blue and purple. You have a lot of colors. You're going to use these 16 color sets, okay? And you'll have a paper towel as well. This is turquoise, and then these are both like purpley colors. This is purple, and this is bright blue. And then you've got like a blue-green right here, which I don't like for the sky, but I guess you could use it, okay? And then you've got your reds, oranges, and yellows, and you could use those for if you wanted to do like a sunset kind of thing, if you turned this into a sun, right? So I'm gonna start with my sky, okay? And these are called watercolors for a reason. You have to have water on your brush for them to work. I'm gonna use this turquoisey color, and I'm gonna paint. Okay, this is actual watercolor paper, so it will do really well with your watercolors. You'll be able to spread them out really well. Okay, now as you can see, the blue that I use is not showing up super great, but that's okay. That's because I chose to use the turquoise. If I had used white for that, it might show up a little bit better, but that's right. Okay, so notice how every time I get more paint, I'm also getting more water, okay? You don't just get water when you change colors. You need to get water every single time you get paint too, okay? And that's what makes your watercolors easier to spread, and that's what makes them look so smooth and nice, okay? Now, I've got this section done, and you can see my blue is getting a little bit darker every time I go back for more paint. So what I'm gonna do is just get a little bit more water on my brush and spread it out, okay? And this is what I was talking about. You see how my yellow, because my paint is light, is staying nice and yellow. Okay, if your paint was really dark, it may not work as well. So you might have to, if your yellow is not showing through for your sun or something, you might have to go back with some water and spread that out a little bit. And your teacher for the day can absolutely help you with that. I'm gonna finish watercoloring mine up while you guys do yours. I can't wait to see pictures of these because they're gonna be so pretty.